Another morning again inside we had. Plenty things then they happen. I wonder how sneeze again what go here today. But this be small country we had. Anyway, before I go to the wahala now we had, I just go to the kitchen and check my colors.
Yes, colors. Some man really like for it in the morning. Some people say them just like when they eat don't sleep. Other people say na the cow they like, especially when they cook the soup or plasas where they like pass all. So now that make we dey bring to you this program wey we call Colres, as we dey look at different story dem na the front page and inside the newspaper. So no forget to join we on Monday to Friday, both Facebook and YouTube, outside we go bring to una different guests dem wey dey can help for talk about the newspaper. We are channel for the people, the voice of the voiceless.
Good morning and welcome to your program Colores right on we are on YouTube and on Facebook so we can discuss the different issues them way the different newspaper then they carry for the day. And after which we can bring the guests and we can come and talk about the issues then they we guests them already the set and then we will just read the paper then quick one and come over to them for let we able for see waiting then can get witty the inside the Colores. Well, most times we can we don't know what we will get today inside the program. So in the meantime, let we go straight to the different paper them and see what we get. We'll start with the first paper for this morning. The first paper for this morning where we go start with let me just see. We'll start with the Africa 24. Africa 24 now the first paper where we they begin with this morning and they get this big banner headline where say Kaba's SLPP versus Bio's SLPP. You get a picture of the former late president Ahmed Jankaba and President Bio, and you as well get SLPP government boost Cambia with 2 megawatt generator. This is another story for you inside this edition of Africa 24. Is that newspaper now the next pick for this morning? We say launch of political campaign at district level. The deputy speaker deforms APC in Bond District. You get Honorable Matthew Newman assures of SLPP dominated 6th in Parliament under PR system. The fall of Sierra Leone, iconic cotton tree. What's next? Bench warrant for APC councillor. This another story for you inside this edition of AZ newspaper. The next one, now the weekly analyst. In just 5 years, even with COVID-19 and war in Ukraine, President Bio has done far better than 11 years of Ernest Bai Koroma. You get Southern Arena, one of the best sporting facilities not only in Sierra Leone but in the sub-region, Babadi Kamara. With this another story for you inside this particular paper, we're now the weekly analyst. We get the next one, we're now the Independent Observer newspaper. We say ahead of June 24th, is APC heading for a landslide victory? You as well get unauthorized reporting on election results. Head of ONS wants radio station. You as well get SLMD, massive new medical equipment for PHUs. This is another story for you inside this edition of the Independent Observer. The next paper for this morning, now the Open Space newspaper, we say ONS boss reassures all of peaceful polls. You as well get, despite COVID and Ukraine war, President Bio better in 5 years than Bai Koroma in 11 years. This is another story for you inside this edition of the Open Space. And you get the Calabash newspaper where say ECSL sign MOU with Guinea government for use of 11,000 empty ballot boxes. ECSL commences 2-day training for chief executive and senior editor on election reporting. And you as well get other story them with the SLPP manifesto launch promises consolidation of gains and acceleration of transformation. Ministry of Lands launches National Revenue Pay platform. This is another story for you inside this edition of the Calabash newspaper for this morning. The next paper, na the Times newspaper, we say as government empty to seize 4 acres of Toke, private landowner cries for justice. You as well get IMF believes Dr. Samara Kamara will save Sierra Leone from economic decadence. And as iconic cotton tree falls, nature demand introspection by leaders of 3 arms of government. This another story for you inside this edition of the Times newspaper. The next paper we get, now the Salon Times newspaper, which is Sierra Guma, Valley, ETSA others in 34 million debt. EU, Germany, ECOWAS, and ECSL. EU, Germany, ECOWAS, and ECSL engage media executives on election reporting. This is another story for inside the Salon Times newspaper for this morning. And we get 2 other papers we will send inside the system just now. We're na the Auco and the Concord Times newspaper. The Auco and the Concord Times newspaper, now the 2 paper them we actually get last inside the program. Okay, we'll take the Concord Times newspaper. I will address the economic crisis by initiating a hybrid economic system. Renip presidential candidate. ECSL releases final voter register. Nigeria Vice President Yemi Asimbajo to lead a Commonwealth election observers in Sierra Leone. IPRM order PMFU to award contract to legitimate winner. And Sierra Leone's monumental cotton tree falls down. This is another story for you inside this edition of the Concord Times. And the last paper for this morning, now the Auco newspaper, we say ANALYSE predicts Sierra Leone to expect bad news, then prosperity. Information sent out must be driven by facts. Chief Electoral Commissioner Connor tells journalists. And Sierra Leone will shine again, Commonwealth Secretary General. The quote. And you as well get Kande Yumkela Speaks, part 5. How do you respond to your critics who says your whole move is for personal gains? This another story for you inside this edition of the Auco newspaper. We'll take a very short break and then we come in again with we guess them. So continue for the with we. If you not on share or like the program, please do so now. Thank you very much. We appreciate that you joined me inside the program this morning. This is a program called Rest on We Are on YouTube and on Facebook. Another morning again inside we had plenty things then they happen. I wonder how sneeze again what go here today. But this be small country we had. Anyway, before I go to the wala now we had, I just go to my kitchen and check my colors.
Yes, colors. Some man really like for it in the morning. Some people say them just like when they eat don't sleep. Other people say na the cow they like, especially when they cook the soup or plasas where they like pass all. So now that make we dey bring to you this program where we call Colres, as we dey look at different story them na the front page and inside the newspaper. So not forget to join me on Monday to Friday, both Facebook and YouTube. Usai we go bring to una different guests them where they can help for talk about the newspaper. We are channel for the voice of the voiceless.
Another morning again inside. Okay, welcome back. We come now and start the discussion inside the program this morning. And we don't get we first guest, we don't join we inside the program. And Mr. Arthur, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, so Mr. Arthur actually na film producer, na possibly in terms of screen, he gets serious of idea of how things then they go, how for analyze several things that we get for do with the screen in terms of writing, production, editing, and all. But at the same time, we get wealth of experience on issues them where they happen inside the country. So they get them inside the program this morning for like it can give you in your own personal or in your own way of how it see the different issues them. So one more time, welcome. And we get one traditional question where we can normally ask, and we program this program named Coolres, and we know it in Coolres inside we country. So the question where they ask you, when are the last time where you actually eat Coolres?
I ate Coolres yesterday. Yesterday, I ate Coolres in the morning.
Okay. And yes, which one where you can like for it more?
Well, it depends, but me more of like a potato leaf person. So I like Coolres and I like potato leaf and Coolres in the morning. Me not so like the kind beaucoup Sierra people like cassava leaf, but me not so like the kind cassava leaf person. Potato leaf for me, when you don't sleep, you warm up in the morning with rest. It gets a own kind taste. I think to say very nicer than when they can just originally cook them.
Okay, so basically that's my favorite, and now that you can give it inside the program this morning.
Yes, we will get the potato leaf taste of appropriate.
Okay. All right, so that now I thought we actually expect Bami Dele something for come and join me inside the program this morning. But for now, we go with Arthur, where we don't get inside the program. Arthur, and we all in a salon right now, and we see how things then they happen. But I'll ask you this general question. The campaign don't begin. Today na day number 4. What do you think of the way how the campaign then they go right now?
Well, basically, you don't go ever able for tell what they happen now if you not compare what you see now with what you don't see in the past.
Okay.
Like we come into democracy during the time of former President Ahmed Tijan Kaba, and we see how the election process been done by then, especially when it comes to campaign, when the actual question. And then you look at what happened in Pakaba in 2-term campaign, and what happened within the Anes government two-term campaign, and what happen now. There are a lot of things that we don't change, but there are a lot of things that we also still they in place. For me, I think to say need for change. One of the things that we know they actually enjoy at this particular campaign time, for me personally, in a freedom of speech, freedom of expression, we're very, very important in a political discourse. People are not for shy away from their thoughts, from the analysis, from waiting they want for say people and for being able for say some of them things. But so then when you find yourself in this kind of conditions in which many a times people have been stifled for the things that when you go talk, you go be arrested. There are so much laws we don't come out with, they try for like 10 people them as to waiting for talk or waiting for talk. That's a one important thing where they affect the campaign. Another thing where they go on at the campaign, then now these are things that we don't go on for a long time. So this is not like just something we common to one kind of political era. Now, political violence. The campaign just began, and just yesterday, from day before yesterday to yesterday, there are so much stories of violent attack in Moyamba, violent attack in the north. There are so much stories of violent attacks with the come with. For me, I think to say no, they make the campaign sweet. I actually believe say the Sierra Leone political campaign season. Now, one thing if we ever get any serious-minded government, now one thing we can become a touristic attraction, because we campaign season so unique, it's so unique that you can even use them for make money for the country. It's like a carnival. So I know political campaign, they always feel like a carnival. You say you get different music, this and that. People come on and treat for dance and all of them things and they for the people that wouldn't they support. You understand me? But now the campaign season as at now, I'm not gonna lie tell you, it's more timid. The campaign season this time is more timid than it ever happened.
So we no broken down timid. What do you talk about?
So what I mean by that, people are afraid for come out and talk their mind. People are afraid for come out and be part of the conversation and be part of the campaign. You understand me? Even within communities and within homes now, when certain people gather, people are afraid for talk. We tell you, no, we don't talk. let somebody not come out and go talk something, say, now me talk and police can find me tomorrow, bambai. Me now one person where can be very, very vocal on internet. But for a very long time, I know they go on internet because lots and lots of people, they call me, be careful, oh, then they defend you, then go do you this, so then go say you that, so be careful, you say, no, against that person, and everything. So this, they added to the atmosphere, we really not good for a political campaign where go like give you the kind of leader we would look for we country.
And we see, like, apart from the internet, even on the ground, certain area, then the way you associate yourself with a particular political party, you know, you will be beaten, you know, then go find you in a net, and go use nef by you, then go do anything by you. And even when you go back, because we see, for instance, even when you go and go lay complaint to the police, then go end up arrest you back. Because the way we go lay complaint against, maybe not then they to the power that may.
That's the thing. We see waiting happen Pigeon. We don't even know whether they don't release people them from the opposition party. We go report na police as to where them go through certain way people them go harass them, go report na police. Now the same one, so them all and they arrest. We also they get different news of arrest of people them every side. We actually not they go down, we not they go down well, you know. And for me, I think to say the police, asylum is supposed to be an organ for protect the rights of citizens. But well, because of political influence, we may not 100% blame the police, because if you get a system over the years being influenced, it will reach a point where the influence they dominate that system. Where even the one that were inside the system self not go able for know waiting at the rights, waiting at the rights and the responsibilities. You go hear policeman tell you say, well, we the support government of the day. I can just laugh. That you not police, you not even get rights for support government. No, even if the government of the day.
You know, like somebody did tell me yesterday, where it makes sense. Say the reason why the police then they do that, because even the one them we set up the first set of police them, they don't actually set the police for protect them within a power and the wealthy one them against the populace. And this nothing we don't pass that on from generation to generation, government to government. You know, the last government guilty of that, this government super guilty of that.
Exactly. And these are some of the things them we want for the inside the political discourse, because whoever win the next election, like me personally, these are the things that I'll be campaigning about, talking to.
Kick your idea. Yesterday, they pitched something to somebody where they look forward for see how best we can able for let the police you know, be different. You know,
yes.
We're waiting at the pitch we want for use.
Well, the very first thing we look at now for get the Sierra Leone police away from the Ministry of Internal Affairs. You know, that's the Ministry of Internal Affairs putting the police under there. You put the police directly under the president. And so you put the police directly under political influence. You understand me? But if we can take the police away from the Ministry of Internal Affairs and remove the vice president from being chairman of the police board, get the police under the office of the Chief Justice, the police forget a parallel leadership. By that, I mean, it is under the office of the Chief Justice and under the Speaker of Parliament. You understand me? So when you get the police in that kind of way, you get the police independent. And then we also...
so how this will work? I think it will still be the same, because looking at the Parliament, you know, how it's like in terms of politics, where the government of the day, like what we see this last Parliament especially, we see how the courts are like, it could just be like the same, because all of them people, and they, like the Speaker, influence they come out from the President, the Chief Justice, of course, appointed by the President, so it could just be like the same circle. Because somebody they actually suggest, instead of that, we forget like the police then they vote for themselves, you know, so they're not going to be answerable to, well, no way, not the way the police not going to be answerable to the government. No way in the world.
No.
But it will reduce in terms of the influence where they will get on them.
Well, yes, but forget the police for vote for themselves is another thing. You know, when they look at the influence, you therefore also look at the issue of responsibility. Who that go ask the police when they go out of hands? Who that go police the police, or whose organization or whose individual go police the police? These are all things we get for think about holistically. So when we craft this thing, it's also about the kind of laws and responsibilities we give to the police. You understand me? Instead of for example, instead of the Constitution say the police are the only arm responsible for investigation, the Constitution can as well say the police are one of the arms that will be responsible for investigation. And so that's going to give government power for create other constitutional organs them we go responsible for investigation. So some of the organs they also even be responsible for police the police. You get what I say?
Yes, please.
Remove police from prosecution. So one of the things that we don't give police power now, because police are the prosecute back in a court. Remove police from prosecution, police for investigation. So remove them from prosecution and hand over prosecution totally to the office of the DPP, the Director of Public Prosecution. And bring also prosecution, make prosecution become a democratic process. So instead of government, they hire the public prosecutor, let every district get a young prosecutor where they be elected. This is similar with waiting when they go on in America. When you get prosecutors, the way they be elected, then they take their work very, very serious. And then they no say, if they not work within the time, they're going to be booted out of office.
Living in a country with system and living with a country without system are two different things. For example, yesterday we see a video. We just talk about elected position. We see a video from a paramount chief. Now, Neha Chiefdom inside Koinadugu district, where basically it's supposed to be independent because it just don't be paramount chief. It just don't be paramount chief member of parliament. The election not done. It actually come out public when they talk say, me don't be the first SLPP, member of parliament. Where it not supposed to be like that. Say, let it not worry, people not worry. Anybody where APC na in side, it will deal with them after the election. Now we talk about this one when I elected. The politics now in the society don't interfere with every part of the society. So how we could totally be independent?
Well, me personally get for the push for a holistic kind of reform. The ideas that we get for reform, Boku, it's not just about the police. It's also about the parliament. It's also about the issue of paramount chiefs in parliament. One person when initially that discussion may come up some years back under former President Aneskuruma for let them pull paramount chiefs in a parliament. One person been talk against that, but now I don't see the need for it. Is the paramount chiefs them not for day in a parliament. It's not their role. These are custodians of culture. You understand me? Therefore, be empowered and educated for maintain cultures and traditions and decency within the society. They're not for be influenced politically. And if I tell you, one of the reasons why I make the parliaments become very, very dumb, very, very cold. Now the fact that the number of paramount chiefs na parliament, they influence the way how parliamentarians and they vote. So certain political parties not get power for influence anything because if we get two dominant parties, so if party A don't already get certain numbers, it just need few number of people. Now for just talk to them paramount chief then they. When many a times, well, according to information that way they reach we, envelopes and they pass, things and they happen, and then paramount chiefs and they just they grab and just they vote anyhow. And from when paramount chiefs and beginning of parliament, candidly, I know one day any paramount chiefs team up for discuss anything, any topic, any idea, you understand me, relevant to in constituency, to in chiefdom, or to the lives of local people. So we need for reshape.
Yes, the only time anytime we then gap now for support a particular party.
Exactly.
Well, that automatically make them become political.
Yes.
So I see your idea, and I see the reason why they need not to be in parliament.
Yes.
Okay.
For me, I nothing to say it proper for letting in a parliament at all.
Okay.
And also with yes.
Go ahead.
And also with the parliament, I also nothing to say it proper for make the presidency appoint the clerk of parliament. The clerk of parliament are one negative influence upon parliament, so they make parliament so they function properly.
Because
so
the clerk basically are the administrative head of the parliament.
Yes, and belong to a political party.
Mm-hmm.
You understand me? Where they come with that power from the executive, we mean to say the parliament is also influenced by the executive. So we want to see a situation in which the majority party in a parliament, irrespective of whether now the ruling party or not, forgets the responsibility for appointing the clerk of parliament. You don't understand me? Where they ensure the neutrality of parliament, they ensure parliament will be a body on its own. There are a lot of things we need for think of, and try for get the incoming government for begin for work towards.
Okay, so we can't go to the issue of this peace memorandum of understanding we didn't sign yesterday. But somebody just ask say, ebe no one at oprat na grammar school if na NDC. Don't say we know this year.
Tell us yes name. Tell us na at oprat Peter Tosh.
Okay. Life Minds, you know, na Peter Tosh at Oprat, na in this, yeah, from grammar school. Yeah. Okay, so let me go now. Yesterday we see, you know, this memorandum of understanding, this signed peace agreement, you know, between all the presidential candidates them, and we see the two leading contender them, the incumbent president and that of the opposition leader, you know, or presidential candidates being signed and then we take the face. We see inside the head of the ECOWAS, the Secretary General for the Commonwealth, say Salone go shine again. All this word, but I come to that word, you know, basically we'll talk about that word because for me it gets a different interpretation in my mind. It gets way how they look that word for the Commonwealth for talk that word. But let me go back to this thing. You actually feel say then sign this memorandum of understanding for the interest of the country or for let you just see them?
This is my own personal and candid thoughts about that process. For me, that not just ceremonious process will not make any sense to me. It not make sense to me personally for certain reasons. One of the things I can always say, in a responsible democracy, the leaders, they respect the tenets of democracy. Then they respect all waiting make democracy. A democracy not actually need for people and for the take extra responsibility for the security of lives, for respecting of rights. You understand me, and everything. So wherein you get a situation in which political parties need for come together during election for sign any form of agreement or memorandum, whatever name them give, just so that somebody say it go uphold and respect probably the result and go ensure say it go away from violence. For me, that is not a democracy. That is proof that we are either in a totalitarian system of government or a system that does not actually understand what a democracy is. It's not the thing we see in England and America. This is not the thing we see in the Netherlands, all the democratic nations. Because then people and they understand what's in a democracy and they work by the principles of democracy, where we're not a sinner. So for me, that's not make any sense. The fact of the matter that when assign anything there and still they go around one party, they go around the chair, the banner of other political party, and one people and then they talk say, look like this video we talk about. We all don't see the video. You understand me? All that's not proof for sure. Say we not even understand what's in a democracy, and we not even get deep for democracy. You cannot be in government for 5 years. And in 5 years, you know they teach you people them waiting at the rights and principles of democracy, and now for work out with them only for signing this during the elections. For me, it don't make any sense to me. Then I tell people anything. It don't make any sense to me. It's just that probably it go hold you responsible in some legal form at some point if something happen and they want to bring something up against you. That is what I think.
All right. Okay. We actually decide for fix up the other guests. So Arthur, sorry, hold on, sir. Arthur, you don't make your analysis. Then I ask you this question again. The Commonwealth Secretary General actually say, Salone go shine again. Just that one line there. Whose message will he send to you?
That line send a very, very strong message. You know, many people go look at me in diverse contexts. Sometimes some people go think of the meeting where they say they go own a Marlborough House with Dr. Samuel Matthew Wilson Kamara and President Julius Maada Bio. You understand me? That we leadership, they under the strong influence of the Commonwealth. But more than that, the fact of the matter is like even internationally, people let me go with the idea and with the notion that Sierra Leone, one country we really need for TNAP and for go on in legs for start working properly. And Sierra Leone need that kind of leadership. We will get Sierra Leone for WACA properly and TNAP properly. And for me, I think to say there is no other time, not the way right for let's say I don't take the decision for TNAP, but now. I think now is the right time for them to take the decision for TNAP. But that decision for TNAP, now how we go approach the issues them way over the years don't surround we, the issues them way over the years don't stunt we growth, the issues them way over the years don't make we don't rather go backward than go forward. Can we now look at ourselves and say we get hope in ourselves, or we get hope in the international community? For me, the international community is there and always go be influencing we, but I think it is high time that we take the bull by the horn, for take the next step forward and say, this not what this we want, not this we want. Sound.
Okay. You get me?
Yeah, I get you now.
All right, sorry. All right, so we actually get this person. Unfortunately, this person don't know say me na person we been on the interview for long term because I not introduce myself to him. And me actually don't be one time, person where they talk on behalf of the people's the PMDC party under the leadership of Charles Francis Magai. And same way, so this is a person we get experience in terms of how the law they look like inside the country. So we get Bamidele something right with me on the line. Welcome to the show, sir.
Okay, thank you. Good morning, listeners and viewers.
Okay, so we actually get some issue with a young connection, so enable for day na the Zoom. After you they get waiting Bamidele the talk, you just hearing voice first.
Yeah, I hear voice.
Okay, good. So instead of the hearing you. So Mr. Thompson, we've been just to go on with the issue of the peace talk with the BK yesterday. That agreement with them signed yesterday for a peaceful election. What do you make up of that particular agreement there? Is it that it comes from the heart, or not just for let people and see them say they don't do this thing? All right, and still we get issue with the connection. Actually, they reconnect, so we get small issue with and there. So we mean say we continue with the discussion, and if it come on again, then we can take. Okay, Mr. Thompson, you get me? Okay, too bad. We're not go able for continue with a own part. So yeah, I thought we go now to the different paper them. Let me see something. They take this one. Okay, I just don't discuss something from this paper we get for do with the Commonwealth. And you don't tell we say this not the right time for let we actually go on and talk about possibly they write and get a lot of experience in terms of culture and other things. Then we see the issue of this, cutting tree for them. What do you make up of that?
except if what people that want for make I bring me own Creole traditional way of thinking in it. But
okay, Mr. Pratt, please hold on here. Let me go back with Bamidele, so stop.
Yeah.
You get the question where they ask you the issue of the peace talk yesterday. How you see them? It comes from the heart, or then just do them because of the one for the people say they don't do them.
Well,
unfortunately, we
for peace. Yeah, are they on now?
Yes, go ahead.
You hear me?
Clear, sir. Yes, sir.
You hear me, right? Okay. It's necessary. If the supporters then can see that, like President Bio and Samura Kamara, then take picture, then shake hand. If only this could be shown all over to the rest of the supporters and say, look, election not to forfeit. Look, the two leaders there, even at this crucial time when they bind each other. I think it helps, I mean, not a binding memorandum. It's based on the morality of it all. If you don't sign something, you've agreed to adhere to it.
So for sign something and for let people and see you totally different from what you come out and tell people. For example, if we don't good at, for example, the one within a power for come out and say, hey, una not supposed to do this. Anybody, the police need for take them, and no political influence not go reach to the police them. So it need for come up with a strong political will, and if for back them up with action, rather than then kind of thing there. And when go pan campaign, you then talk say this political party not for bill office na ya, this political party not for get poster ya, this political party not good for themselves. This now then just then the center one tribe, for example, this other party now just this one tribe, they not like una, all of the hate speech, and they go they create the influence for the people and they take tension. And the other thing where they go on again, now for tell the people and say una defend una self, the police they're not enough. You think say, just signing this thing will wipe off all of their word and the way they be done they talk before?
Well, certainly, I mean, during what they did, not for even coming to campaign, okay? And issues for the talk about how you want to come, if you did in your position, whose difference you will make for change within the happen, and if you did governance, which you don't do, and how you plan for improvement. That's what should be out there. Like we say, should have happened. Una the president now, before don't interview President Bill and force him for make a statement like that, like the one where you say, look, the police go arrest anybody, whether SLPP, APC, PMDC, NDC, or whoever, we know the arrest based on party color or party name. Anybody who violate the law would be arrested. That is what the message should be out there. Probably.
Okay, I thought like I was you said briefly. You just okay. You did get me?
Okay, I'm back. Yeah.
Yes, continue.
I agree with you. I mean, I think you can go to after now. I don't make that statement for now. That's how it should be.
Yeah, I thought like how with you, taking into consideration the system where we don't see, in terms of how the police they do arrest. For example, opposition person could talk something. Let's just take the recent things the way they happen. You go hear the opposition person talk say if the ECSL no actually it look like say we get some real challenge with Bamidele, so we go for ending Kolia. And statement will say if the ECSL no actually seek we interest in terms of the voter ID card, we go do peaceful demonstration all over the country. The police not like that, then come up with a statement immediately. But we see, for example, the leading. Well, I don't know how to put them. The leading the SLPP mayoral candidates make a particular statement. Nobody, not to PPIC, not to ECSL, not come up, not to the police, not say anything about that one day. You go see other people go tell you about this particular thing. Nobody not go make mention of that day, but the system does just they say when this one person do something, like for example, one time in the way and the way Samuel Kamara they do in declaration, then play one particular music, way not being good, the language not being good, then find them instantly. But when you get, other sets of people, the way they do something, where they say something, where they talk something, the police not go ever say. Like for example, recently somebody display gun, now the social media, they threaten one set of people. We know already the police, not to ECS and not to that. But you go here again, another person they cause Mami cause and other things. Them the police will come out and talk about that day. And ECSL, everybody, ONS go talk, say they know they feel threatening and all. This style don't day for long term. Where about it starts from the far end where we get the first lady been tell we say na only udat na SLPP na to Sierra Leonean. Right from that point say the old system change again. In as much as violence be done today, but this system don't take this kind of dimension away. Even where somebody they destroy banana small bow, it una video me because certain things then the way they do when the government officials then see them, then support them, they like that, then they get praise from them. So nobody cares because no action or there for them, So with this kind of thing, all they happen all around. How you feel say we can change this? Because taking into consideration what Bamidele say.
Yeah, so first of all, it's a shame that all of them people there are funnily, I will talk outrightly. If you look at the SLPP government from the president and most ministers, and these are people who don't live outside of Sierra Leone. They don't live in places like England. They don't live in places them like the United States, and they don't see how democracy they work in them place them did. But then they come back to Sierra Leone and they try for enforce waiting me go call forceful police power. You understand me? You try for enforce a system of dictatorship and enforce a system of suppression. We now we see actually in Sierra Leone. There is a huge system of suppression, suppressing the opposition or suppressing people that we know they talk. And like you said, this is not something where we don't start from others. We see things like this happen under the late Ahmed Tijan Kaba, but it was not worse than this. We see them also happen under former Anesbai Kuruma, but it was not like worse than this. You understand me? But this now, they don't take them not like to one step up, they take like a 4-5 step up. And when you don't reach this page, this particular point where it's an alarming point, make I tell you something. May not be one person with me the thing to say the Julius Madabio government will make a lot of changes when it comes to human rights, respect for human rights, respect for rule of law. That was what I was thinking. And me not vote for him, but I was really thinking that with all the talk with them come, the issues of human rights and respect for law, you understand, me go be like a forefront agenda. And I become shocked when I see worse things happening worse under this particular government than how it ever happened. Everything just blow out of proportion. So for me, I think to say this now, people that we not willing for take political responsibility. People them way instead of they make the change, they use the system to revenge and worsen everything. You understand me? Just worse, everything just become worse. The entire government, from the start of this government to today, from the one statement where the president be make initially, we talk say in supporters then get right for be angry. That statement be shocked me seriously. Because you cannot say that.
President for be calm, but in supporters
yes,
they not for be calm.
In supporters for be angry. No, you cannot say that. If you as president they calm, this is what you were fighting for. To get power, you support us them as a leader, a true leader. You support us them for be calm. But because you begin to make those statements initially, and we also see some of the position them where the first lady puts this government in certain statements that we make, all of them things that like you rightly say, make things flare up and it make everything don't change. But it's also a shame that in all of this carnage, make I tell you this, in all of this carnage, we not see any civil society organization waiting now for speak out against these things. We not see none of them. All of the women they make noise, make boku mot under Anesbai Kuruma, all of them go underground. Some, whether they were just paid to be silent or whatever it is, we not see nothing. The worst part of it now that the Human Rights Commission of Sierra Leone, we're supposed to stand up and speak out boldly against all of this, also go down. So if you get all of them key institutions, then they were supposed to make the right statement. They don't make the right statement that we them for make. They not come out and speak out against all of these ills in society. They not come out for ensure say some of these things stop. They don't make none of them points in it. What you expect? You expect leadership for things to say, well, he gets the power and they could just do anything where they want. You understand me? So that's the reason why I wish we get the kind of people in this country we go sit down and think back as to all of them things they are so we don't happen in our country. Who say don't care we go? Who say don't land we? How this thing they are so don't they affect we? Let tell you something. I have met nice police officers. I can always say this. I don't miss a lot of police officers that were nice and decent. I don't meet a lot of police officers that we know them wits around them, where they can be very, very careful. But when you meet people them way completely ignorant, the one that we not even know the rule of law, I wonder the training where police they go through, waiting and they train them. Because if you get police where you train them according to the rule of law, you train them properly on human rights and all of them things, then the situations they're not for the worst. So. But at the end of the day, we also think, say, that tell you something, we also think, say, the police hands are tied. Me, we're not going to blame, me, I don't blame police 100%, I always talk this. Their hands are tied a lot. When you get political influence in institutions like that, their hands then they be tied a lot. Where Bokutin they when they go tell you, please say, this one, look, I don't know if not true, but there's one talk with it on WhatsApp with the police, they say, well, we're not going to arrest 10 people in there. If police actually make that statement, they say, well, we're not going to arrest 10 people in the, you for understand, say, they're under serious pressure. And sometimes in an economy way bad like this, they think about what we go eat and how we go survive. And how we say we'll just escape the acts. So for me, I think to say it's very, very important that then discussions they are come back on the table. Then discussions they are therefore be the top charts on the table. And it's a pity I not read the SLPP manifesto it. I will try to get them because I want to spend the time over the weekend and read the manifesto and also try to get Samoa Kamara manifesto, the APC manifesto and read them. Make way for see how much them manifestos then they address the issues there. Because if freedoms are hampered in a democracy, then it ceases to be a democracy. It becomes a totalitarian regime.
Okay, so let we go quick one. I'll drive you to another issue. We'll not get better time again. I'll drive you to the issue. I'll go to this paper where now the Calabash newspaper. The Calabash newspaper get this issue of the ECSL say ECSL signed memorandum of understanding with Guinea government for use of 11,000 empty ballot boxes. What do you take on this? When you first hear you say ECSL they go now Guinea for go length box, for the election. What think kind of you mind?
The first thing I can me go get you want for ask now. Waiting on who side the $10 million go. The $10 million we know see first thing it was African Express that asked about spoke about the $10 million that it was siphon. So I go. Why we forgo? Well, I'm not saying if Guinea want for be good, they're not can do some good. But then it shows how we level don't drop. It shows how we level don't drop.
So if you say good, like for example, I will just see you ask, okay, I'll give you this amount. Now good. I don't need for signing any document for that. But in the case of this, then sign documents.
Good. Yes, we can't to that side. Now they tell you say it's a higher level kind of process. You understand me? There's some kind of agreement inside that particular thing. But the fact that I know they talk say we better pass Guinea, but the fact that we in Sierra Leone we historically politically now we been done the support Guinea. We get a lot of support with Sierra Leone been done give to Guinea. If we look at the hand of Shaka Stevens in Guinea at some point where one of the former presidents was overthrown and Sierra Leone intervened and all of them kind of thing and there was a time where you look at Sierra Leone, you see the economy they don't go far away from Guinea the economy and all of that. So you think to say we're in the higher position. But then if all of these things begin to happen, it shows how low we are fallen. Then at the very first thing, it shows how very low we are fallen. But then for make you go make an agreement, an MOU with a military government where you are a democracy, it also shows that you not even understand how systems work and what's not the impact of some of them things and the way they do. We as a democracy should not even think of doing that with a dictatorship where they exist in Guinea. Talk less of signing a memorandum. I don't know what's in the memorandum where they sign, so I'm not going to talk much about the memorandum. I'll be for don't see the document, no waiting then sign, waiting the documents actually talk about, before we're able for delve into it. But for me, in a democracy, the Guinean regime just violently suppress an opposition demonstration demanding democracy, they violently suppress them. And then you, a democracy, will get something for do with that kind of government. Well, for me, I'm not surprised because here in Sierra Leone, we've seen violent suppression
So since we talk about the Guinea in the salon, let's draw you to something here. How we will get, for example, Yenga, where the Guineans them they take over, the Guineans them don't put them back in for build something else now the land where we say now we your land. That kind of issue there between the two countries, they're not able to settle them at all. Then you still they go on and settle, and sign a memorandum and go lend to them back. How serious them people are going to take you with regards anything?
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing. So it all shows that I'm glad the way you come up with the issue of Yenga. That was not even on my mind. But it just shows that how callous we are as a nation. Because and I really not understand waiting them people that also get with Guinea. Because I find out saying none of them governments are also not ever serious for talk about Yenga issue. Nor the late Ahmed Tijan Kaba in government, nor the Anescoma in government. Okay, Anescoma in government where you say the issue was taken to court and they wait for court settlement. But here you are, President Julius Malabio, a military man, a man with military mindset. There is then people there, so you miss. Let's say that this thing didn't cut, but then they take another step and come inside. I saw the plan on WhatsApp, whether that's the plan or not. But I saw this plan on WhatsApp. I saw the actions on WhatsApp when they talk to the camp for can Billy Barracks inside Yenga, and the camp for can do this and the camp for can do that. And I'll tell you something, my brother. Sierra Leoneans, we are not nationalistic. That is the first thing. Nationalism is not in our minds, not in the minds of the government. The leaders of this country, they greedily they think of themselves and not of the country holistically, not of waiting they affect the country. Because if we are nationalistic, we don't encourage Guinea to this level. We cannot.
But waiting they surprise me more. The government, we don't send a lot of delegation, including the president. We don't go now Guinea, talk to the former president with the overthrown. Even with this one, they send the speaker, they send him for beaucoup people and with country money. Then go na Guinea. Then come and tell we say they don't settle lamb. Then they try for do joint military patrol na that side in a buffer zone. No to nobody get there for now. All of a sudden we see the junta leader left Guinea come inside the country and then tell we say amongst the things them way that junta leader they come for now because MRU Mano River Union don't give money to Guinea and Salone for let them build bridge na that particular side. But all of a sudden. You remember the last visit? That now waiting David Francis tell we. All of a sudden that changed from bridge to military barracks for Guinea. That shows they're not they take we serious. That shows the visit where Mama de Dumboya come and visit Salone, not to the reason where they tell we. You did it? Okay, I think after don't go off, after been tell we say if it go off, it will come back. Now lights go don't go. So I'm pretty sure lights go don't go right now. We make it just don't freeze and then they settle and quick one. But they come back to that issue there. I go really want for we are waiting after they say with regards to that particular issue they were very much important for we talk about. Yeah, because we want to know a lot of people speculation rumor they go out say. The government don't sell that particular side. So if that be the case, if they don't sell it, if they're really serious about them, for example, person no go can seize advantage permit for me land, then I go back to that person there for go lend something to them. It means I'm not serious about me own thing. The person need for no say I'm serious about that thing there. He need for no say I'm serious about them. But if I'm not serious, now the thing and this for go beg back. Yeah, this person don't take me land. Advantage one. We all don't cry. We all know say na me get the land. Everybody knows na me get the land. It's taken na me hand. Then I go back and go back. Hey, bo, pana, we no more now. I get problem. I will help me for pay me picking school fee. How on earth? You don't get pride. You don't really get pride. We know this say. I know we know the way I go speculate. Say let them go fetch them because hey, Astagfirullah lie. God forbid. No, we know the way we go for try that day. We not get mindself because we not get the strength for do that one day. But at the same time, then get for no say we serious. We get for engage other people. I only hear you want them where they talk about the ECOWAS thing. You know, where they complain after that, and nothing we know here again. But only money we then spend for go Guinea and all. Nothing not come out of the Guinea. Instead, now barracks now we see them they go. The people them, the Guineans then they treat them badly in that area day. Badly. Then the mind that water side day, we young people them, you know, both the way they put, now they put them, then they collect money. We not get anything where they do, even the side way people them be the farm for getting livelihood. All that one they know able for do again. And now then they make advancement again to another area where it gets for do with the corner axis, the border between Guinea and Salone again. For take another land. Because they not say we not this kind of tissue. We're not able to do nothing. We're not able to say anything to them. At the end of the day, now lent back we go and lend to them. How on earth you get election, respectable thing like this? Election where we all feel say we get money for do that day. But at the end of the day, we go back and beg. We go and beg to them, say una lent we. But then people are the disadvantage per we. Then they make another advance again at Kono, for take another land again at Kono, apart from the Yenga. So who say we sit on now? Athos, welcome back.
Yeah, thank you. Sorry, this now the problem gets. Let's just go.
Yes, so I know that as it happen, I tell them saying that happen. Yes, we don't talk about this issue of Yenga, the issue of the length, the issue about the seriousness of government. You know, with all the money we don't spend, with all the battalion. Be one thing, self, where a lot of people been they talk about. They say, it's like this now rumor. You know, not confirmed. I know, reliable. Like it look like say how the government they handle this, like they don't sell that place there. Because the way how that junta leader can inside we country with battalion, it not ever happen. It not expect we at all. They tell you ready for going to Mali, now 3 people they go with and 2 other person.
Let tell you something. Let tell you something. Yeah. Sierra Leone politically has been a very, very sick country. This I'm not gonna lie. Sierra Leone has been a very, very sick country politically. Myself, the day when that guy they can this country, when I see the soldier man they can this country, I said this is sick. We presidents really not behave like a president in that situation. We country not behave like a country, we independent in that situation. We get in security. Even the United States president, if they go na Europe, na any European country, don't go with battalion of police, never, not crazy, because that country is responsible for the security. You understand me? You go with some amount of security, but not like that way out that man they can inside Sierra Leone as if he can fight war. So what people not understand in politics now that what you accept from the hand of a stranger, they use them for way you. So you don't use all of the things that they for way Sierra Leone. Anything to say Sierra Leoneans and they afraid for fight war and they afraid for fight. You understand what I say? I'm not saying we should fight war, but I'm not going to be president of Sierra Leone, give me take 1 foot in the country and not find way for kick them out of that space. It's not possible. And then look what continue to talk about the issues going on around in Kono and any other that. But I can tell you some issues which probably you don't know. If you go up north, there is something happening in this country where many people know. If you go up north, talk to people in the north, you'll see lots and lots of Fuller headsmen coming into this country. When are Guineans? I know they talk about Fuller in Asylum, so why they call Fuller? The people are not beginning to say I'm being tribal. These are headsmen the way they come out from Guinea, they come inside Sierra Leone, they count and they destroy people and crop, then they move with guns, then they move with this and they move with that. I don't get several stories of the headsmen and the situation in which they get for they put people in attorney, so they send and go upline for go talk MMPs. Situation in which headsmen go capture one of village and beat people and beat chief and all of that. We don't see a lot of stories on that. I was even thinking for seeing how best I can do a documentary on some of that particular issue there. So all of these things that happen because we lack sense of security. We're not able to protect ourselves. Let me join you back a little bit.
All right. You still watch Colgate right on we are on YouTube and on Facebook because I will talk about different issues them where basically they go on inside we country and waiting the newspaper and say we don't talk about the issue of the Yenga, where they talk about the issue of the Electoral Commission. Even when the Yenga issue day, the Electoral Commission still they go length. You know, how serious them people are go treat we. How serious the Guineans then go treat we. How serious other people then go treat we. Yes, Arthur, welcome again.
Yes. So anyway, me, I don't understand. I don't know. I think to say we got for sit down and discuss waiting at Sierra Leone.
Okay, so now I'll take you to the last issue of the day, where now from the Concord Times newspaper. You know, this now the issue of the voter register. You know, the ECSL. They say ECSL don't release final voter register. You know, but register basically when they say register, now that's outside person in name the day. And then a other details in the day. Now, so then they arrange register in a school, ain't it?
Yes, that's what for me.
Yes. So, but this one way they pull and just pull figures of different polling stations. Them, you know, like almost people and then at this polling station, and all of things in there. So we see the former mayor Akisoya, even Akisoya, come out quickly and say no, not to this the opposition party ask for. This one I put so not to ask for one the disaggregated figure, 140 breakdown, the register, and then, so we will get confidence in the process and know exactly what they happen. But ECSL say this now waiting and pull, and at the end of the day, last Sunday they come up on the talk say no way, not the way they will ever allow anybody for auditing system because of privacy reason. So now they don't release this way they consider. You don't see this thing way they call register at all.
I don't see some of the documents them on WhatsApp. I don't see the documents them. And for me, I want to toe the line with the mayor and with the erudite lawyer Fitzgerald Kamara for say this is not the register. Because not the first time this way we vote now Sierra Leone, you know. Irrespective of the fact that when we begin for votes, when I be small picking, we can just jump go inside model school and be this circular road. And then we under Shaka Stevens, you get for go vote with Marble. But when we begin vote at this country properly in a democracy, we know what's in at the register. The register is supposed to get you complete information so that's able to identify you and also yes, this is a constituency. And also a simple analysis like that of people that wait for votes within a particular area. I think to say Sierra Leoneans them for whoever get for coming, get for try for ensure say this country run in the right footing, in which institutions then will respect Sierra Leoneans then for who they are. You understand me? People do not respect we, the citizens of this country. And they think that we can be treated as fools and we can be treated disrespectfully. And it's wrong. You cannot disrespect us. For the fact that ECSL, they drag them foot in some of them things there, so show say it's something fishy and something wrong. And we forget a system through which people, when they lead their institutions there, for be answerable back to the people. There has to be some kind of legal framework for let them be answerable to the people if something goes wrong when then they lead some of their institutions they are. And also that framework for make sure say them people there so work according to the laws the way they guide them institutions then yeah. I they follow something today where I see the document we say the head of ECSL for ensure say he release that register. And what you mean like say nobody no go come audit you? This is not Nigeria. This is Sierra Leone, for God's sake. If you just say you, as an electoral body, nobody not for audit you, it's wrong. You're not being responsible, and you get for being responsible. You get for be accountable. That is the thing. No, any electoral body will not be accountable. Is suspicious. You have to be accountable to your people. You have to be accountable to the political parties then where you deal with directly. And so if you don't release them, whatever the issue, ECSL get for getting self for blame at the end of the day. And the head of ECSL get for getting self for blame at the end of the day. That is what I think.
So now, who's are we day? ECSL no give people a better ID card. Then give them ghost ID card, black and white. Some they're not even black and white, we call that. They're totally dark shadow. You know, where they don't even identify. Some people don't even identify themselves in the ID card. And now the voter ID card, they're not one for release them. And now some people they say they don't take like a secret society. Nobody know audit we. You know, like you know go know what we do. All what we do now one for give now. You know, and for the first time we use three type of voter system, electoral system. We use the PR system. We use the first past the post PR system for the member of parliament. First past the post for the councillor and the mayor and chairman, and then we get this the other one where we use as 55% for the presidential election. Three system. Yesterday we just play one video of one mommy where simply they tell we say, hey, they no sabia for voto enough for tomorrow bambai. And then they want for vote and they want for make sure say them vote for the person we go actually better them. But right there, they not sabia for vote, and nobody know they take the time for show they are for vote. This time, mommy from the village, they actually express what he think. No better voter education not they go on. All they care about the ECSL and just do voter education on television, on the radio, and then people and they not sabi anything but then some of them not even get radio. So who side we dey with regards to this election? What do you feel say with the head for?
So who side the money they all go with regards to this election? Because I sure say if you look at ECSL and budget for the election, you can find out for say money being there for voter education. I sure say money there for voter education. So inside that money, they go that's when they call. This is what I'm talking about: auditing the system, creating a good system. We problem that we not get strong system, we not get systems that with the law they backing and the law enforce the BN for ensure that they be responsible. But I also don't want for just put that blame for that voter education on ECSL. I also want for turn the blame back to the political parties. You understand me? Political parties then for the ensure say then create a team for educate people them when it's time for politics, because that's not for you, not for yourself. That's what ensure you own safety. That will ensure say you will win the election. That will ensure say you people them go able for vote for you well. But if you as the political party back not take that as an option, then you self the add to the confusion when they go on now the entire country. You see Sierra Leoneans them get for taking themselves very, very serious. And it's a shame for them to say we really not serious. We cannot take ourselves very, very serious. Because if education is lacking and ECSL they come up and make bogus and tell you say nobody no go hold them accountable or nobody no go audit them. I think it's a shame. I think whoever make that particular statement for retract that statement.
Yeah, the chief electoral commissioner, sir.
Yes, yeah, I know. We will edit you. We will audit you. No matter what it take. We go audit you and the elect it take 10 years, 30 years. We go audit you one day. And some of they come up after the election for ensure say we get solid reforms. We want those reforms. Reforms that we go set this country, you understand me, on the right direction, on the right path. Reforms that we go ensure say the next elections where we go hold na Sierra Leone go be electronics and go be accurate. Reforms that we go ensure say ECSL no go be like one kind dominant organization we go dictatorially determine everything where they happen. I read some of the situations. They say they're not even gather political parties for check the system where they get for use. Who are they responsible for that system? How the system they operate where they get for use for do for collect all the ballots and everything. Then just want for make the thing like Nigeria, but it not go be. Sierra Leone is not Nigeria. Sierra Leone is the Sierra Leone, and Nigeria is Nigeria. You know what happened. But we hope say they go listen to the. We hope say Mohamed Kone go listen to the plea of Sierra Leoneans, and they go do waiting right with in conscience and with God. They go do waiting right for Sierra Leoneans for ensure say we get a smooth running election.
All right. Thank you very much for joining inside the program. Let's just ask you something we not get for do with any of the issues that we talk about now. Get for do basically with you, a filmmaker. You na possibly they do documentary, you do edit film, movies and other things. How it like for do that kind of thing?
Well, it depends by what you look at now in this question. So filmmaking in Sierra Leone is a very, very difficult thing. For example, in the field of documentary filmmaking, very difficult because one, we lack the infrastructure. We not get an Sierra Leone. Number two, money not there for that. It's a shame. No government so they don't put money in for the creative space for growth. And the creative space now, a whole economic space will allow young people, but not only young people, people with the creative minds for grow and for tell stories. And when we're not able to tell the stories, then now they make we can't get the right idea because nobody really promotes things like nationalism. You understand me? Things like love, things like building together, thinking right, and all of them things. But we're facing the challenge. You know, in 2009, as I begin what we now know as the Freetown Media Center, we have been on TV, and we're not able to produce at least, for example, me the first director from Sierra Leone, or the second, I think some Soyos also get, and we don't get an Emmy nomination. The last film, Survivors, give me an Emmy nomination. Survivors about the Ebola. And now I also do another film when I produce, not to me direct, and I produce and Bami Boy direct when New Boats, when they talk about fishing business now, Tombo. It very grateful, my brother, when you see how Chinese boats and the kind inside this country, they call them chikichonga, small boats and the kind inside this country, they fish in zones that were enough for fish, zones that were only local fishermen for fish, they fishing and destroy people and fish. How fish business they make people and suffer in this country, So it's not easy. The thing what we try for do this BNTM, we try for expand with link. We also get another film when I want to be friend in the America now, Ceci, in the Freetown Media Center as well, where we do sisterhood on migration. So these are like the three films then. Top class films that we don't come out from Sierra Leone, and from within this small documentary filmmaking space. In terms of
I don't list that one day. Let's talk about them and then three films then. I don't list them.
Yeah, Survivors na a PBS POV film. Survivors na be a big hit in the United States and also in Europe. If you go na PBS then site, PBS na an American screening system. If you go na the site, you will see Survivors there. You understand me? Even if you go na, I'll try send you a private link, look at Survivors. And then for New Boats just be released. New Boats na Steps na South Africa been put money on that film. New Boats in just the release. New Boats and Sisterhood. Then just the release. Sisterhood don't do a United States premiere last week. If they don't do in European premiere na Spain, they don't do in African premiere na Tanzania with also with New Boots. So then three films then they out. You can also Dochawela puts them up. They were films created for Dochawela. You understand me through for ATI. So you through funding with Dochawela. So you can also look at them from YouTube.
Okay, thank you very much. I think Una they do very well in terms of doing documentary for bring out things in, and you just don't pitch an idea. We they look forward for see that kind of day again, especially with the I think that the Cambia area or the north where you talk about the way how the Guinean cattle then they come inside, they allow them they cow them for destroy the crops of the indigenous them, and then at the end of the day then they bully them back when they look forward for certain things and then because now some of them things they are the true light on certain things them, and we just hope say the government will really take some of them things they are very very serious and treat them people in serious. But how the government go treat them people in serious way themselves now then they crush people them way then they rule. So it's very sad. Then say how you pray the bed now so you go lead on the if us not sell you, streets not go buy you. So I think it's just too sad at times where we they get someone we can get carried away with some of the things them. The things that they talk not to like I can tell you now. I don't tell you now this platform say if Madabio just that same kind of expectation you been get. So now I tell people them say if Madabio been do things them where we been they expect as staff will lie. No way, not the way for the talk about APC by now because themselves they don't do their own bad ways them. Never will not for think of them. But it just unfortunate say Madabio can worsen the situation. What will be the thing? What he talk about? What the way Madabio tell we in a public forum? He tell we this word, but nobody be the game that kind of attention there. We analyze that things there now. Madabio tell we plain one say. He say African leaders are notoriously known for not delivering on their promises. You know what that mean, right? That means okay, we can talk no more, but not on what we plan for do. And it don't come and tell we say, what we can don't talk, what we see where we the outside and what we can inside, not to the same thing. So we get for tweak, we get for change with system. It talk down in 3 years, and the African leaders they talk in the first year of in government. So it's just too sad that we they go back to the system for begin to talk about APC or talk about other things. I don't tell people in this platform several times they me not belongs to APC. I not vote for APC. I not even they think of APC for anything. But we not friends to the opposition because in the case of Usai, opposition not get voice, then democracy not they exist. That is why we create this platform for give voice to people them, let them they talk about things the way they happen inside this country. We don't several times don't take out some government officials them, but they always want to talk about what they want to talk about. So because they're not they get the chance for just talk about it, they're not like when they ask them question. When you ask them questions, then they vex. Then in fact then they attack you, on several things them. And then the next time if you call them up, they no one for come again because they know say they not get penalty kick. You get for challenge them on issue.
No, they are not even willing. They're not even willing. Make I tell you something quickly before we go off. When we premiere the new boots na Tongi Aso, yeah, so we invite the minister of I think we invite the how do you call ourselves? No, not to tourism. This one environment.
Okay.
So at this Ministry of Environment now.
Okay.
So we invite environment for coming because the new boat is not just about fishing, it's about environment, it's about climate change, it's about livelihood. But it's more about how we environments the impact the fishing industry in the country. So we call them for come and they're not even turn up. And I'll tell you something. Whenever you call them for come in an engagement, in anything will go be an engagement between them and the public, they turn up. They're not mind for sending PRO, they're not mind for sending somebody who will take the heat. But they don't ever turn up for talk about the situation. And climate change situation in Sierra Leone, now one thing where they worsen every day. And it worsen because we are not willing to discuss the key issues. Issues like Freetown being overcrowded. It's a shame for when you see Freetown say up the hills and down the seaside in a slum. So the only small decent side up within the city, they between two slums. You understand me? Mm-hmm. The hills and down here in a slum. And you know why I make that thing happen? Because the people are not willing for talk about the issues when are the expansions of the constituencies. Mm-hmm. Then they overcrowd areas them so that they get bigger constituencies. Mm-hmm. You get to tell they say mm-hmm. all of them things there so they affect climate change. Now we country the overpopulation. What that business at this country? Just imagine Freetown where me born where and then they go get water. But my cup and they go not kids for go get water. Now pass with the same people them go far off for the go get water. Goma Valley not the supply with all the trees around Goma Valley don't nearly cut down. The amount of space where they between when a forest space na Goma Valley not even reach 50 acre anymore. People don't cut all of them trees then. And when the governments and they come in power, even if this particular government do one, Then they go to areas, then cut land for people them. Then they cut land at the western area. Why you not vow on destroying the western area? And they go cut forest land then at the western area for give people them for where they support them or for build their own cost or for build constituencies in some of their areas. Then this justice behind they say that they do waiting for bike man them. When they do a land business for bike man and for give bike man the land balloting. Forgive bike man the land. What of the market woman then? What of other people then? But when they give bike man the land because now if you to say the bike man and they go propagate on ideas then for make una win votes. But we not even think of how that's impacts the environment. Freetown is not a good site, especially in this rainy season. It is not a good site. If you see one rain for them, if you see how this country they mess up. You pass that street just in the middle of the city. Now then we get dump sites outside the throw away dirty. This place they choke. If San Juan, the country they hot like waiting. And they're not thinking along all of their lines. None of their lines are they think of. I will tell you. And when you look at the parliament, check almost bills them and they talk at the parliament where they affect the local man. None. This now something don't frustrate me. Now part of the things that was there for talk about. In the past 10 to 15 years, all the parliament sittings that went on there, they not ever deal with any bill we go look at. For example, making sure that drainages are closed, making sure that dealing with police issues and traffic issues in the country. Bills that way they ensure say hygiene, local hygiene rise up to a particular standard. Bills that way they ensure say the ordinary man at the street is positively affected from different sectors. They know they do them. None of them bills and all of the things that when they go discuss, stay and left for 5 years. It either had to do with what the president say, or had to do with bills that when they deal with big corporate companies that when they come, when they get big kickbacks. Nothing they happen when it affects the ordinary man of this country. So is pathetic. Me, I want to make them know that. I want me they send about this country is pathetic. We not think of how for build the lives of ordinary people. And they tell me say how then governments and they for waiting for build human capital. How do you build human capital without building the mentality of a man? How do you build human capital without building the space outside the Motaman they live? For make it think properly how? Outside this so just opposite to me now site now welding shop 90 day. The small light when I go spreading the sand. The welding shop they suck all thing. There is nothing like residential policies in only this country. Market policies not in this country. If you pass that salon, I'll tell you. The highway they don't make the highway the new road that they all in this country, they all on a shop. The new one where they open model done by passcode and model where they open. Go there now. That's the all man they can put stick in the bill shop. The country completely lawless. And they're not thinking around all of them things then they even when they try for kind size so. That make me want to read the manifesto. Let ask them some questions. I just don't care what think will happen to me now. But I'm gonna ask the questions with Leoneans they no one for ask, where we need for ask, so that we can't go before. The last thing, then the seat was just near outside they are going to one school. The level of corruption we they see. You know, I don't want this in my life. First time when they go school, if you want spy, you go right now, you put the paper inside the code. Right now, you they pay the teacher them 50,000 per subject, and then they give you phone inside the hall. You they write you question, you they write answers with your phone. And if you talk to one college student in this country, they are vocally poor. They're not able to express themselves properly on a topic. It's virtually impossible for discuss with less than 3% of the students in this country on a particular topic. I tell you that for free. This is how this country is now.
Okay.
But anyway.
So once you're done with the manifesto, then we have to wait for the manifesto of the opposition. Let me see. We could find time, look at, analyze, and see your serious one, and put you in between and see what we can do. Thank you very much for joining me at the program for part.
Thank you for having me, and I always there available at any time when I'm ready. And I thank you.
Thank you.
Salute people that will listen all time and all. Thank you.
All right. Get yourself a good day, sir.
Thank you. Bye-bye. All
right. So, in name of part, we join me inside the program today. For we talk about different things them where the newspaper them carry. And of course, they don't analyze things them for we actually don't see. So, we want for... I know a lot of people, go like what you say. A lot of people, not go like what you say. That is it. Now, your opinion. They don't put things them together. So, one for telling thank you. You will like, you will share, you will comment. We appreciate your time with me inside the program today. Well, we'll meet again. Today on Friday, ain't it? Okay, I think so. I don't know if on Friday. But today Friday. Okay, so we'll meet again on Monday for another edition of a program where we call Rest. But now we're standing, continue for joining we throughout the weekends on Weird, and it's 9 p.m. Salon time. Today we come up 9 p.m. Salon time, and Saturday, Sunday as well. Until then, my name is Nastembe Pierre, the freedom fighter. Thanks to the producer for this program, when I Elias Abba. I appreciate you and the work we do. Until then, we love you all so much. God bless you now. Another morning again inside we had plenty things then they happen. I wonder how sneeze again what go here today. But this be small country we had. Anyway, before I go to the wahala now we had, let's just go to my kitchen and check my colors.
Yes, colors. Some man really like for eat in the morning. Some people say them just like when they eat don't sleep. Other people say na the cow they like, especially when they cook the soup or plasas where they like pass all. So now that make we dey bring to you this program where we call Colres, as we dey look at different story them na the front page and inside the newspaper. So not forget to join me on Monday to Friday, both Facebook and YouTube. Usai we go bring to una different guests them where they can help for talk about the newspaper. We are channel